Do we have reason to believe at this juncture that Omicron may already be here in India?
Yes, of course, there is a possibility because of the high transmissibility of this particular variant, Omicron. And the first detection happened in South Africa on 9th of this month, November. And then it was reported on 21st, and then 24th was the announcement. So during that time, there has been many travels happening from South Africa and Benin. So I would say that I would be surprised, and there are asymptomatic cases as well. So one would not be surprised if that detection happens within India. It's just a matter of time, given the high transmissibility that this variant comes with.
Dr. Pada, we've seen, for example, in Maharashtra, an old age home where there were 67 people who've tested positive. 62 of them were double vaccinated. Is this something that you're going to be looking at very closely to see if this is Omicron?
Of course. I mean, INSACOG is the platform. So in that sense, I would say that India is quite well prepared because we have now the INSACOG facility with laboratories spread all over India. And they are quite adept in quickly sequencing the samples in terms of identifying the variant which is responsible for a particular infection. Now, we must remember here that vaccination does not prevent acquisition of the infection. So even if there has been double vaccination in the 2 doses of the vaccine, we have now Covaxin and Covishield, both are intramuscular injections and given in 2 doses. But that does not prevent acquisition of infection. So if the COVID-appropriate behavior is not observed, one can always get, infected. And the way one should prevent it is by use of mask, maintaining hand hygiene, avoiding mass gathering, all the possibilities that could actually transmit infection. So vaccination might, help in reducing the severe form of the disease or the, necessity for hospitalization or requirement of oxygenation or in preventing death. But acquisition of infection is not prevented by vaccination.
Dr. Pada, isn't it time we start talking about booster doses, particularly since we've got a glut of vaccines presently available? There are so many people, senior citizens, even others, who've had their second dose several months back. I'm not a senior citizen just yet, but I had my second dose more than 6 months back. And I'd like a booster dose at some stage. I'm sure others would as well. If we have the vaccines, people who haven't taken their second dose are not suffering because they'll get it when they choose to get it. Then why shouldn't those who want a third dose get theirs?
There are 2 sides to this question. One is what is happening or what happens at the population level. So if you ask me, what is the necessity or the priority in terms of the public health, I would say that the large proportion of people, get covered on the 2 doses of vaccination, that's the best and that should be the public health priority. But at the individual level, of course, a person who is not able to mount, sufficient immunity or is suffering from immunosuppressed conditions, or is not able to, generate enough protection post-infection and also post-vaccination. Of course, that's a group of people or individuals who need to be considered.
But Dr. Panda, yes or no, should we not start as soon as possible booster doses for those who are eligible, right?
Yes, and then at the population level, the attention should not be diverted because then there will be a great deal of problem in terms of new variants coming in and even the old variants and causing, the burden on the healthcare system. If those who need to be covered with the vaccines are not covered and therefore land up in the advanced stage of the disease and the burden on the healthcare system will be huge.
Yep.
So our attention from this public health priority should not get diverted.
Yeah.